Apple just completely changed how the iPad works, but let me be totally honest with you right from the jump. We have been burned by Cupertino so many times before with empty promises of turning the iPad into a real computer. So, I'm approaching iPadOS 27 with a massive amount of healthy skepticism. Mark Gurman dropped hints months ago that Apple Intelligence would dominate this layout, and now that the developer beta is actually running on my daily driver M-series hardware, we can finally see if the software matches those crazy high TSMC 3 nanometers yields. Under the hood, this entire update centers on a completely rebuilt Siri. This is not the completely useless voice assistant that has annoyed you for a decade. It is built on 4 core pillars that scale across your entire hardware matrix. And honestly, the way it hits the iPad form factor feels entirely different than it does on a cramped iPhone display. The first big pillar is deep personal context. Ross Young and Ming-Chi actually argued about how on-device context engines would hit older hardware, but Apple went all in here. Now, you can literally ask Siri to grab a random note you scribbled down during a Teams sync last October, or tell it to pull up photos of a specific restaurant you visited in Tokyo 2 years ago, and it surfaces instantly. You do not have to dig through nested folders or deal with the absolute disaster that is the native Files app UI. The system index parses your data locally, ensuring you bypass any cloud processing bottleneck while pulling exact files instantly. The second pillar shifts to world knowledge. Siri can now tap into real-time online data to answer complex, open-ended questions. If you are reading a technical breakdown on Safari, you can instantly ask questions about things happening on your display. For instance, I was scanning a random retail site looking at Apple Watch Ultra hardware promotions, and I could just ask follow-up questions about comparative pricing options without leaving the page. It understands the context of the text on your screen right as you look at it. DG Times recently published a report checking Asian supply chain component logs, confirming Apple has significantly bumped up localized memory allocation just to handle this exact type of concurrent web scraping. That feeds directly into the third capability, which is taking direct action inside your applications. Apple is using advanced semantic indexing to let Siri manipulate system apps on the fly. I was watching an episode of Shrinking on Apple TV Plus, and there was a song playing in the background. Because of standard content copy protection, you cannot see the video on a screen recording, but I literally told Siri to Shazam the track and immediately add it to my private Apple Music playlist. It executed the entire sequence in the background flawlessly without causing any thermal throttling or background app crashes. The fourth pillar is full on-screen awareness. If you have an email open containing a flight itinerary, a calendar invitation, and a specific dinner spot, you can just tell Siri to generate a calendar event from this, and it scrapes the display data directly. There is even a standalone Siri application now that syncs your active conversations across your Mac, iPhone, and iPad. If you start a complex research query on your desktop, you can pick up your tablet later and see the entire threaded text history right there to check when you have more downtime. Mac Otakara noted that this backend sync operates on an encrypted local relay, which completely eliminates the lag usually associated with iCloud handoffs. Before we dive into how this translates to real-world creative work, I want to talk about how I have been optimizing my physical hardware setup lately. I have been testing EIP's new 2026 accessory lineup, and they have seriously refined the iPad workflow this year through a beautifully integrated companion app. It starts with their HyperKeys keyboard. Instead of constantly tapping through complex application menus, you can map custom shortcuts through the EIP app for heavy workflow software like Procreate, GoodNotes, and Notability, or even trigger system-level tools like Screenshots and Siri. You just click a key to instantly swap between your pen, highlighter, and eraser. The trackpad is a premium, full-surface click-anywhere design, which completely eliminates that cheap budget feel where only the bottom edges register movement. EY also added a clever magnetic buckle with an integrated sleeve that secures your stylus and keeps the keyboard tightly shut during travel, which is a massive design win that even Apple's own expensive Magic Keyboard fails to offer. They also rolled out the Pencil X, which gives you insane customization compared to a standard stylus. Inside the EIP app, you can manually fine-tune the tip signal strength to completely get rid of annoying line skipping on different screen protectors. You can map custom single and double tap functions to the physical tail button, adjust the actual sleep timer, and even change the color of the built-in tail light. It packs full tilt sensing and palm rejection right out of the box. To top it off, they have the Nano 2 paper feel screen protector. It is completely reusable, washable, and magnetic, so you can snap it off when you want to watch media. I highly recommend the anti-blue light option because it filters out up to 97% of harsh blue light while maintaining an anti-glare finish. If you want to avoid paying that premium Apple tax while maximizing your daily productivity, hit the link in the description down below. Moving back to the software, visual intelligence has officially landed on the iPad. Reports from the ELEC regarding next-generation digitizer layouts make a lot of sense now, because the Apple Pencil is the primary interaction tool here. You can take a quick screenshot of anything on your display, circle a specific object with the tip of your pencil, and Siri instantly breaks down the data. If you're looking at a food blog, it spits out exact nutritional charts. If you circle a mountain peak or an obscure building from a travel image, it instantly maps the location. The Native Notes app integration is where I'm spending most of my time since I write all my video outlines on this machine. Siri can now analyze both typed text and handwritten notes. I pulled up an old development script for the upcoming iPhone 17, and I told the system to generate a concise summary to paste at the bottom of the document, so I could use it for a metadata upload. Even better, you can ask it to generate a punchy 60-second version of your written notes, giving you a perfect script variant for social media shorts without rewriting a single sentence. Do you think these AI features are actually going to change how you use your iPad daily, or is it just marketing hype? Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below, because I really want to see where you guys stand on this. Apple Intelligence is also creeping deeper into system-level creative tools. The Photos app picked up spatial reframing and an AI extend tool. If you have an image with a cramped composition, the extend tool literally synthesizes completely new visual data to widen the frame horizontally, guessing what the rest of the background architecture looks like with shocking accuracy. The updated cleanup tool is also much stronger now, letting you erase massive background objects without leaving those weird, blurry digital artifacts behind. We are also seeing practical upgrades across the board. The new Passwords app automatically flags compromised or incredibly weak logins and can update them autonomously. Safari now automatically clusters open tabs into semantic groups to clean up your digital workspace when you have dozens of pages open. The Shortcuts app got a massive upgrade too. You can write automations using plain spoken language. I told it that whenever I dock my iPad onto a physical keyboard, I want the UI to immediately transition into a windowed Stage Manager workspace, and the moment I rip the tablet off the magnets, it should force every application into full-screen tablet mode. It built the script perfectly on the first try. For families, the child safety updates are massive here because iPads are dominated by younger users. Inside the initial setup assistant, parents can now lock down exact system apps, choosing between a highly restrictive handful or an expert-approved baseline. A new Ask to Browse feature forces kids to send an explicit notification request to a parent's iMessage before they can access specific web domains. Communication safety has also expanded. The system now proactively intercepts and blurs out graphic gore and violent imagery before a minor can view it. You can set category-specific screen time limits based on child development metrics and explicitly whitelist the exact code. Tax your kids are allowed to FaceTime or message. On the pure hardware performance side, Apple is claiming huge efficiency gains. Supply chain analysis shows that Cupertino is maximizing high-speed controller throughput. External drive transfer speeds are up to 5 times faster over the USB-C port, which is an absolute game-changer if you're moving massive ProRes video files or raw photo catalogs off an external SSD. General app launches and AirDrop handoffs feel noticeably snappier. Even the display panel tech gets a boost via a software feature called Liquid Glass. It uses real-time, sub-pixel rendering adjustments to improve uniform refraction and text contrast. You get a dedicated calibration slider in settings that lets you adjust the visual profile from ultra-clear to a deeply tinted paper aesthetic. To wrap things up, we get system-wide smart captioning that generates synchronized subtitles for any playing video file the exact second you mute your system volume. And it turns off the moment you slide the volume back up. Maps flyover mode renders down to individual trees using visual intelligence assets. And the Home app now supports full 4K HomeKit secure video alongside automated AI summaries of your daily security footage. That is the first look at the iPadOS beta. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss our deep dives into incoming hardware revisions later this fall.